this blog, someone brought up Watergate, how they couldn't really describe to some younger people what Watergate was. Some other guy said, well, one thing my mom noticed is that all the soap operas were off the air and the ladies were pissed off, the homemakers. And some guy says, that was my mom's big complaint too. She was a Nixon voter anyway, and she hated Democrats, but the big sin was knocking my stories off the air. Now, that's interesting, because I was just thinking about soap operas. Soap operas, and how we could meld. I'm just going to take a small chunk of what I believe is the problem, and that's the psychological breakthrough that we need from ancient history and the creation story. We all know that there was that Noah's Ark, and Adam and Eve formed out of the dust of the ground. But then where do these things fit in? These phallic guys they look like their heads have a penis on it, or a foreskin. So that's up another tree. But when you look at criminality, or these people who are serial killers and they act real crazy, or they're outside of their head, and even when you look at soap operas, well, the good thing about them is that you find out what is the motivation. What's the motive really? And it goes many layers, and that's why soap operas are fun for people to watch, because they can remember months and even years of the motivation and the character development of these people. So, like with Real Housewives, you can tell, if you want to know why someone hates somebody, you have to go back, because there's a reason for everything. Usually, there's a reason. So, in the case of Enlil and Enki, who I haven't figured out exactly where they fit in, but there's the mother, the figure, the father figure, the son, but then there's a lot more children involved. So it seems as though one of the common denominator is that very often the mother tells the son, say, oh, your father is wanting to kill you. He's so pissed off that you guys are making so much noise down here. And so the father's going to kill you. And so the kid thinks, well, I better kill him first. So he does. And then the mother's like, oh no! How did you do that? Oh no, you killed their father! And the son's like, well, geez, you said he was going to come kill us. And she says, oh, I didn't mean that. So she gets her lover, who's the peasant, who's some buff stud, I forget his name in this whole thing, to kind of rally against her own children. And isn't that where you get a lot of serial killers, like that Thaw guy against the architect Stanford White, who we know about his mother always protecting him, but only for the sake of protecting her interests. And that the kid knows that. Where was the father in that? Who knows? But that's why these ancient Greeks always went to Alexandria, Egypt, to find out a lot about this stuff. And that's where we get a lot of these myths. And finally, psychology. And psychology is so important, and we touched on it. We almost hit the absolute zenith of understanding how to get free from it with the John Bradshaw and a million others. Psychological breakthrough people, because if you don't get past this whole Oedipus complexes and also wanting to murder the father, and then the mother turns the father against the son, and then she brings in a lover, and most people can't stand, the boys can't stand seeing the mother with another man, especially he's probably same age as him. So then there's all these other kinds of wars and peoples and stuff like this. But see, isn't this sort of maybe just psychological? What they want is America in the 20th century with John Bradshaw giving us some psychological answers, or Paul Hagstrom, or Paul Pearsall, or let's see, there's 1,000 of fantastic. This is what America could give the world. Is of course, we derivative from the Carl Jung, and a little bit of Freud has obviously got to be in there, a lot of Chinese history, a lot of philosophy. The philosophy has to carry us through, because without love of philosophy, we're not going to have love of mankind to help us delve in and realize and marry the psychology with these guys. Because these guys created, the myths are that they created man from the dust of the ground, and they got this jealousy going, you see, also with this. And then where that wasn't that Adam and Eve, you know, the dust of that what is it? They killed each other and then spilled the blood and made another form of mankind. Oh, it's all in there. It would take hours for me to put something together, scholarly like, but I ain't no scholar. You're gonna have to figure this out and realize that it's all, as one girl told me who did have a near-death experience and came back from the other side. She said it's all about a psychological breakthrough. We don't need to worry about preserving religion in order to find out what these demons are when they actually come through people and start being mass murderers, because we need the truth. The truth will set us free, and these are the ones that are coming through.